Hello and welcome to my little corner of YouTube where I talk about knitting and other crafty bits like sewing and whatever I feel like diving into right now. My name is Sarah and you can find me on Instagram as Mrs. Wallgren Makes and on Ravelry as Mrs. Wallgren. If you're new here, welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's been a few weeks since my last recording. It's been summer and vacation, and we have been away from our house for about 3 weeks. So due to the pandemic that's still going on in the world, our summer didn't go exactly like we planned it. We were actually planning to go up north to Sweden and then going over to Finland to be a part of our best friend's baby's baptism. I don't know how to call it. She was getting baptized in Finland, but due to the restrictions about vaccination and everything, we rearranged everything, and we have had a lovely summer anyway. We have been together, just our family. We have been hiking and we have been meeting people that we have missed so much, and it's been a beautiful summer. I have had quite a lot of crafting time, but also a lot of time out in nature. So even though it's been a few weeks and I've been off work, it's not that I've been crafting a lot more than I usually do. It's pretty much the same for me. I knit in the morning after breakfast when the kids watch the summer show called Sommarlov, and I knit when they go to bed and maybe when we are drinking coffee and stuff. But on the days that it just happened when it happened, and I have a lot of knitting time. That's something that I'm really great for, but it's been a very active vacation for us where we have been outside a lot. And since I haven't been home, I haven't been close to my sewing machine, so I haven't been sewing that much since the last time. I've been sewing one pair of shorts because I can't hike in a skirt or a dress, which is probably what I wear 99.5% of the time. So I made myself a pair of shorts. They are in the wash right now, so if you go to my Instagram, there is a picture of the shorts, and I made a matching top to go with that, and that has been so good this summer to have while hiking. Okay, I have already been talking for a few minutes, and this is supposed to be a short episode. I wrote down a pair of notes in this one, and I have some plans for the YouTube channel for fall, and one of them is actually to try to get better at some shorter episodes, and maybe in between these episodes where I just share what I make, what's finished, maybe I can share a few shorter clips of when I'm making stuff, what I actually am using a lot. Maybe I can share my best tips for matching your knitting with your sewing and how I started sewing and stuff like that. So I have wrote down a couple of notes for YouTube for this fall, but today I have my notes here about finished objects, ongoing, and that's about it. I have bought a lot of yarn for my vacation. On my vacation, a lot is maybe much to say, but a few different places I've been visiting has been yarn related, so that has been awesome. But I think that I will share what I purchased and what I plan to make from those things in another episode, maybe in what I plan to make for fall. Let's see, I won't make any promises, but I would really love to be able to do this a little bit more often, and maybe not always just talk about what's done and what's ongoing. So, finished projects since the last time is I have 4 things. Actually, 2 of them were almost finished last time, one of them I didn't know about, and one of them was a quick project in between our other things. So the first one is a quick project. This is the scarf number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I was visiting 60 Garner Nord on my vacation, and they carry Knitting for Olives yarns. So this is knitted in Knitting for Olives merino in the color cream. I haven't been using this a lot actually since I made it, but that's because of the heat wave that's been going on in Sweden. Actually, it's still quite warm and humid in the air, so maybe when the heat cools down a bit I can get more use out of this. I saw beautiful pictures about people making this and using it as a bandana, and yeah, really love it. I think I can get a lot of use out of it, and this was just a really quick and simple and fun project in between other stuff. But that's a finished project. Another thing that's finished that I talked about in my last episode is that I'm finished with Airbots Mrs. Weasley Jumper. This is made from the pattern Teddy Bear Sweater by Petite Knit. This is the biggest size that I've made a little bit longer because I want him to be able to wear it for a longer time. I changed the neckline a little bit. I did this kind of rolled neckline because I think that looks more like the actual Mrs. Weasley jumpers in the series, in the films. And yeah, this is knitted in Rerum Natura Ulysses, and the colors the colors is on my Ravelry page, but I think I know the yellow one is called Door, but I can't remember the name for the coppery red one. He's really happy, haven't used it a lot due to the heat wave as I spoke about, but he's really happy about it, and that makes me super happy too. I'm actually really I really like this color. I would love a sweater like this for myself, maybe not with the letter on the front, but I really like this color, and this yarn is absolutely amazing. Another thing that I've finished since the last time is actually the sweater I've showed you in the last episode too. This is the, let's see, Trelisa, I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is the from the latest Line magazine. I've knitted this one in Raumafinul. I talked about it more in my last episode. It's a round yoke and it's this kind of structured color work. Love the colors, love the fit of this. It's the perfect amount of boxy. If I would to do this again, maybe I should have cropped it a little bit more. It's a little bit long in the body, but I can just tuck it in to my high-waisted skirts anyway, so it's fine. But I like my sweaters a little bit more cropped nowadays, so that's about it. In other cases, the colors, the yarn, everything is actually really good, and I really like it. So this is done, and hopefully I can pair this with a beautiful beige skirt for fall. Another thing that I didn't show you last time that is finished, started, finished and everything is this sweater here. I call this my Västkusten sweater because of a lot of reasons actually, but the main one is that it's white and blue, it's striped, and I've knitted the most of this on the west coast this summer. I cast it on for this project with leftover yarns from this sweater, so they kind of match, but yeah, I wanted to use up the yarn I had and really liked the color and just wanted something really simple to knit, so a round yoke, and yeah, super simple but still a lot of fun with the stripes and everything. I was so inspired by a sweater that was published by Line. I don't know the name of that, I will try to put it here right now. That was one, it was just so beautiful. So I bought that pattern and then I realized that it was a design with a dropped shoulder. And that is so beautiful. But when I go back and think about all the sweaters that I've ripped out this fall, this spring, and yeah, since Christmas last year, it's almost always been with dropped shoulders because I just don't think they fit my body the way I want. I think a round yoke or a raglan is more fitted for me. I don't know what it is. I have a quite full bust and quite broad shoulders, so maybe it's that, I don't know. I'm just not that comfortable in that. So yeah, I didn't knit that sweater but still wanted stripes, and then I looked at Kia's Bod, which is a big inspiration for me, and she was knitting stripes, and I saw Sarah of Blackbird Knits and she was knitting stripes, so it felt like the whole Instagram was on for stripes right now. So I just freebased this sweater myself. There is some short rows in the back, so you can see here that these two rows are not going and meeting in the front here. They go back and make the short rows. It's double folded edges everywhere, so it's no ribbing, and it's a wider double folded rib on the bottom. I really like this, and it really reminds me of when I was a teenager and wore almost every day like super high-waisted black skinny jeans with a black and white striped sweater. I had black and red hair, and I was listening to Håkan Hellström and Kent and Broder Daniel, and yeah, there's something about the striped sweater that just brings me back to that memory. Haven't used it a lot actually. One day I used it over a dress when it was a little bit chilly, but I am so looking forward to autumn now. I know that's awful to say when it's only August, but I'm a fall and autumn kind of person. I really like the high crispy air, and yeah, looking forward to wearing this. So yeah, that's about everything that I've finished since the last time. Wait. No, it's not. I will pop a picture here. On a little tulip jumper that I made for our best friend's daughter on her first birthday. It's a beautiful pattern by Bee Mandarins, and yeah, what to say, I love the tulip genser, and this little tulip on 5mm needles just went so quickly. I love the cute little scalloped edge, and I can highly recommend the pattern. I knitted mine in Sandnes Gone Kos, and that was a perfect yarn for that sweater. It kind of, that's a blow yarn, so it looks like, not looks like, but it's similar to the feel of Plötoloopy because it's like this unspun but in a thread, if you can say it like that. And I really like that for kids. It's not my favorite yarn to knit with for myself, but for a little girl, that was perfect. So yeah. If I'm not happy with something or it doesn't fit, I rip it out. So everything that I don't talk about here is ripped out. And to talk about ripped out, there is going trolls. Do you say that in English? Because in Swedish we have this saying that det går troll in some projects or in some things that it's just not working. And for me, that is this project that's in this project bag. This is a project bag that I've made in linen fabric and did some embroidery on. But this is the third time I stored a sweater for my husband in this yarn. So bear with me that this is the third and last time I cast on with this. As I talked about in my last episode, I was knitting the... Yeah, I don't remember the name of that. I will write it here. It's a beautiful sweater by the Westland sisters for Yearbook, and I had knitted the sleeves and they fitted perfectly, and then I knitted the body, and then I got the idea that I should pre-block the body and the sleeves and test it on my husband, and I'm so happy that I did because I had exactly the right gauge, but I couldn't get the measurements in my head why the sweater was so big. It was like a tent, it was so much fabric, and I should have tried it on for him before, but I was just knitting around and around and around. But so when I realized that, I ripped it out and was left with 7 balls of Yearbook Svensk Ull, which is a beautiful yarn. I really love it, and I really loved the pattern by the Westland sisters, but somehow it wasn't working for me at all. So now I cast on for the Northland sweater by Petite Knit in this yarn. I have just made, just because I wanted something else, and I had some scraps about this color of Letloopy. This is the perfect color of green for me. It's like this heathered deep forest green, and if anyone have any tips about this color of yarn but in a thinner weight, because I've looked at Rauma and I've looked, but they don't have this cool and foresty and moss type of green color, but I really love it. So any other ideas about this color, I would love to get that. But just to make some interest of this sweater, I made a ribbed on the rib I striped with 2 stripes of this green one, and then I've just done the short rows and started with all the raglan increases, and so far this actually fits quite good. I've tried it on Daniel right before I record this actually, and it actually already feels like it fits quite good over the shoulders, so I'm pleased about that. I will use this green color on the cuffs too with 2 stripes, but I don't think I'm gonna use it for the bottom hem, and that will just be plain grey. But this is the Northland sweater by Petite Knit, and yeah, I like her patterns. I think they always fit nicely. It's something about the simpleness in her patterns, but she's really good at getting the fit right, because in this sweater it was actually a different kind of short rows than I usually do, so, or they were built up on 2 different ways, so that actually made the sweater a little bit more boxy on the shoulders, and yeah, I just think that this actually suits a man's neck better than example the no frill sweater that's not at all shaped like this one. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to see how this one turns out, and really like this kind of sweatshirt effect that it gets with the stripes, and maybe I want to knit myself something the same actually. So that's one ongoing project. Another ongoing project was when I was at 60 Garn Nord. I bought some more knitting for Olive Merino. This is the color Marzipan, and this is the color Licorice. So these two is paired in a sweater. This is a sweater from Kofteboken 3. I love those books. I have all three of them, and there's something so how do you say that? There is something so calming about going back to that kind of basic and like classic knitwear where the color work is just beautifully made. And yeah, this is the Ny Grunedal. I don't know exactly what the name is. I will write it down here. But this is knitted on quite thin needles. I've used 3.5 for the color work, and then I use 3.0 for the body. I don't usually change my needles actually, because I knit my color work quite tight, loosely, so it doesn't like pull together. But for this one I'm actually aiming for a more fitted body, because this is so thin and so beautiful in the fabric, really drapey. So I would actually love for this one to be a little bit more fitted in the sleeve as well, so I can wear this in the fall and winter with a high-waisted skirt that I always use, but also with my black dungarees, because this is so thin that I don't think that I will be too warm actually to wear under the dungarees. I'm super happy about this. There's something so satisfying by making these types of jokes. They just, when everything comes together and you can see the flowers growing, and that just makes me so happy. And yeah, I'm actually really eager to keep on with knitting with these thin yarns, because I think that that will be super useful for me. And I actually shared a little tip on my Instagram, and I will show it to you here too. But it's this is a provisional cast on for the underarm, and for this sweater there is no short row shaping in the neck, because the pattern is starting here and just going out. So instead of that, I'm always doing, when I'm done with the yoke, I'm always doing short rows on the lower part of the back, and sometimes even down with when the ribbing starts in the waist actually, because I always think short rows is a good idea for the fit of a garment, but they don't always actually need to be up here. They can also be down here or just under the yoke before I split for the sleeves. So that's a tip if you have a beautiful yoked sweater that you don't want to interrupt with short rows in the neck. You can always do them on the back instead. So yeah, that's my second ongoing project. And my third ongoing project is a part of my what I want to make for fall for my wardrobe type of project. I will pop a picture up here. this beautiful woman from Sondeflor. Last year they published their wool coats and everything, and the woman in this picture is so beautiful. I love everything about it. I really want a long wool coat. I want this big grey scarf around my neck, and I would love to have a pair of colorwork mittens in black and white. So this is the Sirapssnitt mittens by Birger Berge. This is a collaboration between him and Yearbook. I've changed it up a little bit. I don't like when mittens have colorwork on the cuff. If it doesn't have ribbing too, because I really like a snug fit around the cuff and then the mitten. So for this one I've actually skipped the color work on the bottom and just made a 2x2 ribbing instead, and then I started the color work on top. I'm knitting these on my mini needles. These are super great for knitting color work in the round, so you don't get the tight floats on the side here. I really like it. And yeah, I've just started the first mitten, and I have no hurry to get this finished actually, because it's not winter yet, but winter is coming. So someday I want to finish this and have a beautiful pair of mittens for fall or winter. And I'm carrying this project in my project bag that I made using punch needle. This is a craft that I am so eager to get back to now when we are home. I have made a new frame and prepared everything with the fabric and all, so I'm ready to go. And this is such a beautiful fabric, and then I've sewed it with some organic leather. Actually, this is leftover fabric from my work, and then I have a leather tab and just a zipper, and I've lined it with a linen fabric. Yeah, that's about it. I know that this might seem like a little bit more stressful episode than I usually do, but I'm really trying to not go and talk about everything else all the time, because today was about my finished and ongoing projects, and next time I'll see you, I thought that I could talk to you about my plans for autumn, what I want to make for my wardrobe, and crafty bits that I want to dive into, and a little bit about my goals for this autumn and winter, autumn maybe. So yeah, and in that it would actually contains more about what I bought on my vacation, because some of the yarns are bought because I want to use them for something special. So I'll see you in my next episode. I hope you are well and have a lovely time until I see you next time. Bye!